Hi devs, I have another code review tip. For today's tip, I want to talk about using code reviews for mentoring. If you're mentoring another developer, code reviews can be one of your most effective tools because you can point out what they're doing well and where they need to improve. There are some things you might want to do differently in a mentoring review to make it a better learning experience. The most important is to be sure to review code that your mentee produced on their own so that you can better assess their progress. In addition, you may want to modify the way you critique and comment on code. It's common for people learning to code to make the same mistakes over and over again. To address this at Google, I worked with a colleague to create classes to teach best practices. Some reviewers also collaborated on a document of well-written common responses. These things saved us time, and they were also great learning tools for our interns and new hires. You may also come across a similar mistake being made repeatedly throughout a single review. You might think that you're being helpful by pointing out all the places these occur and saying, well, make the same change here, or make the same change there. However, this removes the learning experience for the reviewee. Instead, write a good explanation the first time you encounter the problem, and then say, it looks like there are other places that need the same change. Please check over the entire review. Doing this helps solidify the new skill for the reviewee. While in every review you should explain why you are suggesting a change, this is especially critical in mentoring reviews. The developer will probably not learn from a comment that says, change this, unless they know why it should be changed. In fact, this why explanation is one of the most important aspects of a mentoring review. A good why response will explain the problem with the code and, if possible, point to articles that can expand on the issue. And if you want to provide suggestions, be sure to provide several. This is important because the learning process requires thinking through alternatives, analyzing them, and then choosing the one that works best. As the mentee learns, you'll want to stop spelling everything out. Rather than telling the developer exactly what changes to make, just point out potential issues. For example, you could simply say, this function is getting rather long. Is there a way to break it up? This forces the developer to think about the best solution and come up with an approach on their own. It's a great way for them to learn. Above all, remember that the mentee needs to learn, grow, make mistakes, and correct them. You might even want to let them merge imperfect or buggy code so that they can learn the consequences. Try to remember what it was like when you were first learning and let them make mistakes and learn from them. Another thing that will probably be helpful for a mentee is to have several different people review their code. They can learn from the variety and diversity of opinions and styles. And finally, don't forget to praise their work when they have done something well. Have a great learning experience with your mentoring reviews.